Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is basically going to be about self-discovery and things that I'm learning and how to be happy. I've just written a few things down and I'm basically just going to read and explain what I'm thinking. So if this interests you, then keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I've written down is that your 20s are your confused years. This video is more for people who are in their 20s and who are trying to figure themselves out, because that's what I am. I'm 22 and I'm still trying to discover who I am and all that kind of stuff. So basically, in your 20s, you're trying to figure out who you are. As soon as you finish school, you're supposed to know what you want to do with your life. You know, you're supposed to have it all figured out. And that's not really how life goes. Most people don't know what they want to do. A lot of people do know what they want to do when they finish school, but a lot don't as well. When you're in your 20s, it's very normal to be confused because you still have to figure out who you are as a person, what your purpose is in this world, and I think people don't think it's okay to be confused when it actually is. It's very normal, and that's the only way you're going to discover what your purpose is in this world and who you are as an individual and that kind of thing. So I know a lot of people in their 20s aren't happy because they're suffering from anxiety and depression, and it's such a common thing in this day and age. And you know, it's really hard to be happy with yourself for a lot of people for different reasons, like being confused with life and what you're supposed to do. It can make you really unhappy or depressed even. So yeah, when people tell you that, you know, you need to be happy with yourself and good things will happen, it's not as easy as it sounds. So these are some of the things I'm learning now on how to be happy, because I've noticed that your 20s are very up and down. Like you have a lot of highs and you have a lot of lows, and it's always just up and down, and it can be quite exhausting because, you know, you just want the highs, you just want to be happy, but if you think about it, you can't always be super happy and have every day being amazing, because you need to have the lows so that you can appreciate the highs. Yeah, so with that being said, like I said, that you have to have the lows to appreciate the highs. I think that often when really shitty things are happening to us and we feel really low, we're like, why is this happening to me? I don't understand. But often, after some time, you realize that you've learned quite a good lesson from it. And a lot of the bad things that happen to us make us stronger as people, and teach us a lot about ourselves and teach us a lot about the world around us. And yeah, sometimes those are just lessons that you need in order to learn those things. I also think that when you're in your 20s or you're quite young, I think that traveling is really good for you. I've been traveling for a while now and I honestly love traveling. I think that it helps you discover yourself so much. You know, you just learn so much about yourself, and there's so much to see in the world. You know, there's so many places to go and discover, and when you go to all these places you discover a lot more about yourself as well. It just helps you grow so much as a person. So another thing I've written down is being positive. So if you are interested in manifestation and the law of attraction, you'll know that being positive is really important, and the more positive you are, the more good things will happen to you. And I really believe in this because I've experienced it myself when I've been in a really good state of mind and I've been really positive about things that I wanted, and you know, I manifested it, I made it happen. I knew it had to happen, I wanted it to happen, and a lot of those things happened, and I really believed in the law of attraction when those things were happening. And you notice that when you aren't in a good headspace and you're negative, it's really hard for good things to happen, because often just bad things keep happening to you because you're in a very negative space and you're attracting negative things into your life, and it's a lot of negative energy that just makes things a lot worse. It can be really hard to be positive sometimes when you are in a bad headspace, but you have to realize that you are the only person that can push yourself out of that headspace. Nobody else can do it for you. Sometimes it takes a while, it can take a really long time. Sometimes it's just a realization you need to see that you're the only one that can make yourself happy, and if you are positive, good things are going to happen to you. That's just how the law of attraction works. And it's the same with people. If you are being really negative, you're going to attract negative people into your life, and if you're positive, you're going to attract positive people into your life, the kind of people that you actually want to meet. As a 22-year-old, I'm now learning that sometimes you just have to let things be. It can be quite hard, but you know, sometimes when things are shitty or things are great, you just have to let them be. If something's not going your way, there's really not a lot you can do to change it. Sometimes things just are the way they are, and if it's a shitty phase in your life, you just have to let it come and go, because it's gonna pass eventually and things always get better. I do believe that everything happens for a reason, or most things happen for a reason, and things happen the way they should. And sometimes you realize that after a while, if you go through a bad time or a bad phase in your life, after some time you'll realize why it happened, because there's often a reason behind things. Even if they are bad, you'll see the light and you'll see why things happened the way they did. And I'm now also learning that it's okay for things to be up and down, because you need to experience so much in this world, you know, to become the person that you are. You can't just have things be up and amazing all the time. You need to have a little bit of both, so that your life can be balanced. I think that's what balances our lives out quite a lot, is having, you know, different things happen to us, so we can experience different things, even if they are good and bad. Sometimes that helps us become who we are. And when you're young, it's normal to feel lost. Like, it's definitely okay. I think most people in their 20s do feel quite lost. I think there's a lot who are very strong and know what they're doing and maybe don't feel as lost as others, but a lot of us do feel quite lost. And I think there are times where we go through, we think we know what we're doing and everything's going great, and then something shit can happen, and all of a sudden you just feel lost and you feel like the world's ending, and yeah, you just kind of feel like you don't know what you're doing anymore. But then you pick yourself back up and, you know, things get better again, as they always do. And we need to remember that we all have a purpose in this world, even if we don't realize it just yet. It can take time to figure out what you want to do or what your purpose in life is, but eventually you will figure it out. And there's no rush, because life is a journey and we just need to take it one step at a time and enjoy every moment that we have on this earth. So, speaking from experience, I understand that being in a depressed state of mind can make you really unmotivated. Like, it's very hard to be positive and motivate yourself to do better and to do things when you're in a depressed state of mind. It's a really horrible thing. It feels like there's a dark cloud over your head all the time. Luckily, I haven't really struggled with severe depression, but I know a lot of people who have, and it's a really horrible thing. Things always do get better, but if you are in that state of mind, you do need to realize that you are the only one that can help yourself. And you know, it's all about the way you want to perceive life, and if you want to see the beauty in the world, or if you want to see the negativity and all the bad things in the world. Yeah, and what helps is just doing whatever makes you happy and trying to focus on good things. Like, take it one step at a time. You don't have to push yourself into something that you're not ready for, but if you do want to get out of that state, the best thing is to try and do whatever you love, do whatever makes you a little bit happy, be around people who are supportive and can help you come out of that state, and eventually you will get there. And if you're doing something that's making you unhappy, then you need to realize that that is what is making your life miserable. If you don't feel like what you're doing is serving you a purpose, then you shouldn't be doing it anymore, because we only have one life and we really need to make the most of it. So another thing I'm learning is practicing gratitude, because I feel like the people who are happiest in the world are the most grateful for life, who are grateful for every day and everything that surrounds them and the people that surround them, and you know, they're just super grateful for the life that they have. And that's what I'm learning, because I want to be a lot happier as a person than I already am. And I think that's a really important factor in becoming the happiest that you can be. Something I also feel really strongly about is trusting your intuition and trusting your gut feeling, because everyone has a gut feeling and some people are more intuitive than others. I think it depends if you want to get in touch with your intuition or not. And when we have to make decisions in life or choices, we have a gut feeling and it's telling you what the right decision is, you know? That's often what your gut feeling does. And a lot of people ignore their gut feeling. A lot of people will listen to their heads rather than their gut feeling. And you need to, if you can feel that you have a gut instinct, you need to listen to it, because if you don't listen to it, you're often making the wrong decision, in my opinion. Like, that's telling you what to do, and you really need to listen to your intuition because it's trying to help you. And the more you listen to it, the more you will realize how it affects the decisions you make, and it usually helps you make the right decisions. Okay, so another thing I wrote down is to realize how far you've come, because often we set ourselves goals, and then when we've actually reached that goal, we don't even really realize it. Like, you might have set yourself a goal like a year ago to get somewhere or do something within the year, and then you eventually get there and you don't even realize it, you don't even appreciate it, because you're just thinking about what's next. And that's also about living in the moment. You really need to appreciate everything that happens to you and realize how far you've come, because I'm sure you have a lot to be proud of when you realize like how far you've actually come in the world. So yeah, something I believe strongly in is living in the present moment. And what a lot of people do is constantly think about the future. And I find myself doing this all the time, and it's something that I'm working on, because constantly thinking about the future is honestly the worst thing you can do. The future isn't a real thing. It's like whatever you think is going to happen is all in your imagination, and you need to realize that, because when you're constantly thinking about the future, you can think of 100 different possible scenarios that are going to happen in a situation, and most of the time none of them do happen. It's just things that you've thought about, and you're not living in the present moment when you're constantly thinking about, oh my god, what's going to happen, how could things go. It's really bad. You're just not living in the moment. And I find that when I block those thoughts out, which is what you need to do, you will see that you are a lot happier with yourself, and you're enjoying life as it happens. So yeah, I think that's really important, is living in the present moment. That's probably the best thing you could do if you want to be happier. So another thing I think is really good for the mind, which I'm starting to learn, is to meditate. And I've never really meditated before. I've started doing it slowly. It really helps you to calm your mind and just be happier, and it teaches you to live in the moment. There's a lot of apps, so I use the Headspace app, which I'll link in the description. It's a really great app. It's a guided meditation, so it's for people who haven't really meditated before and need like some guidance and some help. And yeah, it just basically helps you to learn how to control your thoughts and control your mind, and not let your mind take control of you, because that's often what happens. That's why we overthink so much and we're constantly thinking about the future. And yeah, sometimes you just need to meditate, and if you do it every day, you'll notice a really big difference. It is about being consistent, which I'm working on because it can be hard. It definitely helps you in the long run. And something else that I find really helps for me is being in nature. I love the ocean. I love being at the beach or being surrounded by trees, like in a forest or a park. Yeah, nature is such a good thing. I feel like it helps me to feel grounded, because life nowadays is quite unnatural. Like, we're surrounded by so many unnatural things, and it's not often that you are in nature. We're constantly using technology on our phones and on social media, and yeah, these aren't really natural things. So I find that living a natural life helps you feel a lot happier with yourself. That's what really helps me. I think nature is a really good thing to help you, but you need to do whatever makes you happiest. You should do it, because that's what's going to make you feel better and have a more fulfilling life. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to make more of these videos, so let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it, if you would like to see more of this kind of thing, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching, bye.